If you look at the statistics, 40% of Gen Z, that's the 15 to 24-year-olds, that's the future. Who cares what I think? I'm going to be off the planet, but, you know, way before, you know, anything major happens. Gen Z, 40% of them do not want a monarchy. And they are the people who count because they're taking...
It starts like that, doesn't it? Because...
And Meghan is that Kate is very much... She's like a cardboard cutout. She is the perfect royal. She was like she was when they made that... She and William made that disastrous tour of the Caribbean. There they were in that Jeep. They could have been there 50 years before, and it was a complete disaster. Now, Meghan has charisma. Kate does not. The press have tried for 5 years, for 5, 6 years, they have tried and tried to make Kate every day in the press. She's beautiful, she's this, she wears Zara earrings. They've tried very, very hard to make her into somebody like Diana, and she's not. The thing about Meghan is she's the same as the people. Like this country, she's multicultural. She is.
So is Kate. No, just because she's mixed race.
She's made her own living.
No, look.
Young people support Meghan.
No, they don't. And you know what, Nina? What will it take? What will it take for you to finally accept that Meghan really is not right for the royal family? Seriously, you even said that you agree with her. She went on Oprah. She lied. We all know they lied about racism. There was 17 clear inconsistencies.
This is going over old ground, and we know that this.
Well, it is relevant. That's why she's not. That's why she's not.
I mean, what are the such terrible things that she said? But listen, let me just say to you, Meghan is somebody that we can actually look up to as a woman. Kate has never... Kate, 15, she made a speech at the United Nations. Now, what has Kate done? What has Kate done?
It was one of those rare moments on TV where time almost seemed to stop. Not because there was a loud clash or a dramatic walkout. No, it was something much more powerful than that. It was truth, raw, unfiltered, unscripted, spoken clearly in a space that spent far too long recycling the same dull, dusty narratives. Nina Myskow didn't raise her voice. She didn't roll her eyes or turn the moment into a spectacle. She simply told the truth, and in doing so, dismantled the fantasy that the British public has been force-fed for years. Sitting across from Nana Akua on GB News, Nina uttered a sentence that shattered the plastic illusion that's been carefully manufactured by the royal press machine. Kate is like a cardboard cutout. Meghan is someone we can look up to. You could almost hear the gasp ripple through the control room. Not because it was offensive, but because it was honest. And in that space, GB News, where Meghan Markle is usually served up like a chew toy for conservative commentators to maul, Nina Myskow said what millions have felt but feared to say aloud. That Kate Middleton, the Duchess so often revered for her quietness, her poise, her unbothered grace, has been celebrated not for what she's done, but for how well she's stayed silent, for how perfectly she's played her part, for how much she resembles a royal figurine polished and positioned to satisfy a monarchist fantasy. And meanwhile, Meghan, the woman who's been called every vile thing under the sun, she's the one out here doing the work, speaking the truth, carrying the weight of her principles in spaces that were never designed for her. Nina wasn't being controversial for the sake of a headline. She wasn't tossing a grenade into the studio for attention. What she did was far more radical. She pointed out the obvious. The elephant in the press room, the truth that royalists don't want to confront, that charisma, impact, and emotional intelligence matter more than silence, that Meghan brought life into the royal family, real life with messy truths and beautiful convictions, and was punished for it. She dared to be visible in a world that only wanted her as a prop. She dared to be loud in an institution that prefers whispers. She dared to be whole in a system that thrives on fragments. Let's be clear. When Nina described Kate as a cardboard cutout, she wasn't mocking Kate's appearance or her worth as a person. She was holding up a mirror to the public performance the royal family demands of women like her. A performance that rewards stillness over movement, politeness over principle, and prettiness over purpose. Kate plays that role well, impeccably even, but that role isn't real. It's a ghost of royal tradition, a polished veneer designed to soothe, not to spark change. Meghan, in contrast, refused to be a ghost. She wanted to bring color, opinion, substance, and soul into a house that only wanted her silhouette. And yes, Nana Akua recoiled. You could see her squirm, trying to pull from the well-worn playbook. Kate is graceful, Kate is dignified. Kate never puts a foot wrong, but that's the problem. You can't put a foot wrong when you never take a single bold step forward. Nina wasn't criticizing Kate's personality. She was challenging the standard. She was questioning why silence has been turned into a virtue while courage is condemned. Because Meghan did take steps forward. She stepped into spaces that desperately needed light. She spoke to survivors of violence. She advocated for girls. She addressed racial injustice when others looked the other way. She wrote her truth. She lived it. Nina Myskow could see what many journalists choose not to. She saw that Meghan isn't just some outsider. She's a trailblazer. Flawed, yes, but vibrant, intelligent, and fiercely determined to make a difference. Meghan didn't enter the monarchy to decorate it. She tried to change it. She didn't shrink to fit the room. She tried to open the doors. She tried to bring the outside world in. But the monarchy and the media that clings to it wasn't ready for that kind of growth. And so, it did what it always does to women who don't conform. It punished her. The truth is, Nina wasn't just defending Meghan. She was defending a future. A vision of womanhood that allows complexity, emotion, activism, and presence. She was rejecting the idea that a woman's value lies in her ability to smile silently beside her husband. She was calling out the machine that rewards Kate for doing and saying nothing, while dragging Meghan through the mud for caring. And caring should never be a crime. So let's not pretend this was just about Kate versus Meghan. It never was. It's about what kind of woman the world feels comfortable admiring. One who floats in pearls and perfection? Or one who shows up in the mess, speaks with fire, and refuses to be silenced? Meghan broke the royal mold, and for that she has been attacked, diminished, and, honestly, vilified. But Nina? She reminded the public of something precious. That charisma isn't a liability, it's a sign of life. That having a voice is not a threat, it's a necessity. And that admiring a woman should never be contingent on how obedient she is to outdated expectations. Kate will always be applauded for her stillness. But stillness doesn't change the world. Meghan, for all the pain she's endured, has already changed how we talk about race, gender, motherhood, media, and monarchy. She's opened conversations that had been boarded shut for generations. She's made it okay for people, especially Black women, to expect more, to ask for more, and to walk away when they're being disrespected. That's power. That's impact. That's why Nina said what she said. And to be clear, Nina wasn't asking anyone to hate Kate. She was asking us to think, to reevaluate the traits we're told to admire, to question why the royal family is clinging so tightly to tradition, even as the world moves on. To realize that maybe, just maybe, our admiration has been misplaced. Because when it comes to leadership, to authenticity, to visibility, to courage, Meghan showed us more in a few short years than others have in a lifetime of smiling silence. So yes, applaud Nina, celebrate her courage, echo her words every time someone tries to spin the old fairy tale again. Because fairy tales don't build better futures, truth does. And Nina told the truth on a network that has long preferred fantasy. And that, my friends, is what made that moment so unforgettable. Meghan Markle is someone we can look up to, not because she's perfect, but because she's real. She's powerful, principled, and proud of who she is. And in a monarchy and a media landscape that wants women to disappear into the background, Meghan showed us how to stand in the light. Nina saw it. She named it. And now, so will we.